After months of escaping her stalkers, the poor mother began hiding inside an orphanage, singing a lullaby for her newborn baby, Lu Shu. When the owner of the orphanage came to kick her out, she took one last glance at her baby and asked the lady to look over him while she got some medicine. But after the lady agreed and saw his walnut pendant, the mother disappeared, never to be seen again. 18 years into the future, Lu had become a broke man who took care of his sister, Kaede, because he kept spending all his money on festival scams to satisfy her like a simp. As they walked over to see the main event, the flames nearly burnt Lu's face off, but in that instant, time froze. The entire universe had been held at a standstill, and the walnut pendant glowed in a golden hue. Nobody else noticed it, but Lu realized that the man in front of him wasn't creating optical illusions, but that all of his powers were likely magic. When the show was over, Lu wanted to know the source behind his flames, so he snuck into the backstage with his sister. As they watched the mysterious men speak, one of them fired a tranquilizer at the magician, and Kaede screamed in fear. Their positions were compromised, but Lu said it's not like they saw them shoot the man dead in front of them, and were going to report it to the police or anything like that. The dumbasses actually bought his lies, so Lu tried running away, but their leader felt uneasy letting Lu leave. As they walked away, a man asked them if they would be interested in spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ. But Lu said he wasn't interested in his crypto rug pull and walked away. He was already broke after getting into crypto and wondered how their world had become so horrible. So to comfort him, Kaede reminded him that they're not blood related. While he was preparing dinner, she told him that the only thing she wants to eat was his nut. Sorry, I meant his walnut. But Lu decided to just leave and get her some ramen instead. As he crossed the street in the freezing snow, Truck-kun was finally about to isekai another victim, and completely smashed Lu. His soul began leaving his body as Truck-kun transported his soul into an isekai anime. But because this is a Chinese anime, the god of the world bestowed Lu with a cheat leveling system, and the walnut on his pendant began floating. As he ascended to the sky, the walnut finally broke open and released all of its energy into restarting his heart. After he resurrected from death, there was one thing on his mind: he will never be broke again. So he began telling the man to give him all his money, but random numbers began popping up above him until he ran away. At the corner store, he tried buying ramen, but the store manager was shocked to see the blood falling from his head, so Lu ran away and bumped into a couple on his way home. As soon as he arrived, Lu went inside to take a bath and noticed how the wound had completely healed away, but there was now a golden scar on his hand. When he tried activating it, he saw a lottery system letting him know all the coins he's gathered, and he realized that those must have came from everyone's negative emotions. Without hesitation, he decided to consume all of his balance into a wheel of fortune, because crypto gambling wasn't enough. As soon as he was about to lose all of his money without a single reward, the last spin finally landed on the jackpot, and a scroll appeared before his eyes. It had the same lyrics as the lullaby his mother sang for him, so he began singing it out. With the words of the song, the scroll disintegrated into an energy orb in front of him, and from the distant galaxies, a light speared towards the earth, and Lu began absorbing all of it. When he opened his eyes, he was floating in front of a solar system. But after losing all his coins, he realized that he could become rich by pissing off his sister all night. While they stayed up watching sitcom animes, Lu felt a sudden explosion inside of his body, so when he went on the roof to investigate, he saw two suspicious men hopping on the top of the roofs. Before he was spotted, Lu tried covering his mouth, but the men had already noticed his presence. They asked him what he was doing up here, so Lu said it wasn't like he noticed how suspiciously they were jumping around like superhumans or anything like that. The dumbass morons actually believed him again, and told him to go home before leaping away. As he waited inside, Kaede wondered who he was talking to, but a man fell outside the window, so Lu forced his sister to stay inside while he went to check. Her anger allowed him to gain a lot more coins, but she sneaked out from behind him and told him to call the ambulance. But Lu was too broke to pay the fee. He wanted to just leave him outside, but when the system granted him coins, Lu realized that the man was pretending to be unconscious. He told his sister that they will just leave his body to freeze all night, just like his girlfriend who dumped him after having a train ran on her by 3 men, because he was too ugly.
You're a victim!
After that violation, he gained 470 coins, and Lu was glad that he was on his way to becoming the next demon lord. The man tried begging for water, so Lu gave him a yellow snowball instead, but the man blew it away and begged for water again. However, Lu started pushing him down and farming his ass for coins. He told him that he was just trying to help him rest, but the man had enough and grabbed his arm, trying to burn it off. In an instant, however, his heart negated the burn and began dissipating the fire no matter how many times he tried. He continued gaining coins off this dumbass interaction, so the man said he was just kidding and wanted to leave. As he got up, Lou told him to avoid the alleys because he might see his wife cheating on him again, and smiled like a ruthless f***ing savage while going back to his home. Inside his room, he decided to spend all his coins buying the first item and ate the celestial fruit. Before he knew it, a light beam rushed towards him from the edge of the cosmos, and he was transported back into his solar system, where the celestial fruit became another planet. With all the energy leaving his body, he snapped back to reality and saw the tree on his hand. He was now able to carry the bed up with ease, so he wanted to begin farming up even more coins. Seeing the fire on the news, he decided to create a different flame war in his school's group chat, and he gained thousands of points instantly. At his shop the following morning, some of his classmates saw him selling eggs, but pretended like they didn't see him. This had become his daily life. He told the man next to him and explained how most people were too embarrassed to be friends with a broke guy. After letting those words out, 3 lackeys approached Lou and tried making fun of him for being poor, but he said that they smelled worse than his expired eggs, pissing them off once again. Their leader tried calling him ugly, but Lou said that his mom is ugly. The guy couldn't believe how hard he was clapped, so he decided to buy all the eggs to act rich. However, Lou was a genius and gave him all of them, announcing that some dickhead just purchased all of his eggs, and gaining thousands of coins in the process. The guy tried flashing his VIP card as a source of payment, knowing that Lou can't accept card payments. However, money was stacked on the table, and the main love interest, Saria, finally entered the chat. She walked off, and Lou told the lackey to shower next time, because his breath stinks worse than his attitude. At class, everyone sees the news of the superhuman awakeners roaming the world, and one of the kids screams that an awakener was found on the rooftop. As Lou got closer, his body sensed the danger surrounding him, and while running up the stairs, he realized that the girl from earlier was another awakener. On the rooftop, the delinquent threatened to throw the principal off, but Lou thought this was a good time to call his classmate ugly to gain more coins. Seeing all the ugly CGI characters, Lou realized this was the perfect chance to farm even more coins. The student raised the principal up, threatening to throw him because he's too young to go to jail. But Lou stepped up and began reciting the fucking Constitution. He told him that he was committing a serious crime, and gained thousands of coins when everyone thought he was being a moron. As everyone was distracted by Lou's dumb fury, the officers ran towards the man and neutralized him. One of the girls came up to him and thought it was so hot how he saved the day, but he told her that he's not interested in girls that look like men.
Damn!
This was exactly everything he needed to get all the Fortnite V-Bucks he wanted, but when he entered class, he saw 2 suspicious scientists standing in the room, and they were about to force him to have a blood test. Without anywhere to escape, Lou was forced to take the men's small syringes inside of him. Walking back home, he saw the weirdo from earlier on.
你好，很高兴见到你。
你高兴得太早了。
That one there was a violation. Personally, I wouldn't.
At home, he saw how his sister had developed a fever from all the cold weather, so he tried gambling for a celestial fruit that could cure his sister. After 30 spins, he was about to lose all of his money, but he finally won one of the fruits. After winning 4 more of the fruits, he fed them to his sister, and her fever instantly disappeared. Throughout the day, he decided to give her the rest of his fruit, saying that consuming them will allow her to become awakened like him. However, he begins farming up coins again by calling her useless for not ever doing her homework, and that her family abandoned her because she was such an ugly, useless loser.
What did he say?
The following morning, the teacher explains that special students will be taught under a new instructor, and Lou remembers seeing him before. One of the girls was Saria, and one by one, the teacher called everyone up until Lou was the last student. Additionally, a new transfer student called Jang will be joining the class, so the girl sitting next to Lou offered her seat, because she doesn't want to deal with his stinky smell every day. At night, Lou went to attend the secret class, and wondered why the suspicious man was going to be their teacher. The man revealed that all their blood was tested with a special alloy, and the darker the mixture their blood created, the higher their ranking. From A to F, those with the highest ranks are capable of annihilating entire cities, and he dismissed them after revealing everyone's ranking. After class, everyone talked badly behind Lu's back since he was stuck at F rank, but Lu wasn't at all bothered by the others, texting them that their moms are F rank. At night, Lu consumed the last of his celestial fruit and saw that it was now purchasable in his item shop. He wondered if his Wheel of Fortune has unlocked a new item, but this time, it was some expired tofu. With his remaining coins, he began rolling all night, and after hours of burning through his coins, he finally hit the jackpot and unlocked a new scroll. But before he could read it, the scroll's energy snapped into Kaede's head, and a dark energy emanated from the heavens, allowing her to see the solar system as well. As he laid in bed, he wondered if there was a connection between their two solar systems, but saw that he needed to roll 80 more expired tofu before he could unlock a new item. He wondered if he could turn his coins into cash, so the following morning, he began spreading the expired smell around, allowing him to gain extra coins. But when one of the people tried it and thought it was delicious, the entire town lined up to try some of it. Days began passing with him being a straight-up menace in society, and before long, he unlocked every star one by one. His life had began taking a new turn, allowing him to sell his stinky foods for more money, while also gaining as much coins as possible. Before long, he summoned the last of the celestial foods, and his solar system was finally complete. The same song he heard when he was a baby began emanating from around him, and he consumed the energy of the star, exploding it into a million different flames. A mysterious dagger appeared before his eyes, and he realized that the giant star was his soul this entire time. So he tried summoning the sword using his soul power. Using it, however, completely exhausted all of his energy, and he wondered just how powerful he would become once he completed all 7 solar systems. The following day, the teacher introduced them to the Spirit Stone, a powerful item that unlocks hidden powers through meditation. At home, Lu tried combining its power with his new sword, but the sheer violence of his celestial map nearly overwhelmed him. As he walked outside, he noticed a strange old man practicing his swordsmanship, and the old man tried showing off, but Lu had already disappeared. At school, the class leader shows off his strength in arm wrestling by defeating everyone. But when Lu appears, he tries challenging him to a duel. However, Lu was as still as a statue, and crushed all of his hopes, telling him that they can try with the other hand if he was unsure. Once again, he completely destroyed him, and thanked him for allowing him to awaken once again. During lunch, Lu hadn't had enough of farming people for coins, so he released his toxic gas food to gain even more because he's the MENACE Spirit Reincarnated. During midnight, his mind quaked, and he told his sister to stay quiet while he went to investigate. He saw a Chinese Aaron Yeager bowing his head, and the old man welcomed him as the leader of the Heavenly Network. With the world being at war, the mysterious leader asked him if he would like to become the last Heavenly Network member, but Mr. Lee rejected his offer. The man told him that their truce would be the only thing that could bring peace, but left and promised that he would bring Mr. Lee the medicine he requested. He took a sharp glance towards Lu and walked away. The following morning, Lu took interest in Mr. Lee's swordsmanship, but wished someone could take care of Kaede while he trained. So at school, his negative emotion counter kept going up, and he wondered what she was up to. After classes were over, the main love interest glanced towards him. When he got back home, he saw Mr. Lee helping his sister with her math homework, but she called him an ugly old senile man, and the negative emotions all came to Lu. He realized that he could use his sister to farm up even more coins, since they were somehow connected, but Mr. Lee was ready to teach him the sword. Before they started, Lu begged Mr. Lee to teach her every single day, and pissed both of them off. Once Kaede left back to her house, Master Lee brought out weighted vests, each of them weighing at 300 pounds, but Lu threw them up in the air like they were a toy, revealing that he was one of the awakened humans. Seeing his sheer power, the old man decided to take a different approach, and aimed a piece of paper towards the wall. The birds flew away, and magical aura began to engulf the paper. "I'll teach you that anything in the world can be cut," the old man said, and with precise movements, he slashed the paper downwards, creating a fissure in the ground that cut through steel. This was his first lesson, and he told him that mastering a single skill is better than being average at 10, so he commanded him to cut through air using a sword. Lu was determined to master his power, and began slashing through the air. With his stance being terrible, Master Lee corrected it as he went on, and looked forward to seeing how well Lu would correct his abilities moving forward. Hours passed, and by the 999th slash, Lu finally felt the wind whirl around him. At night, they drank a warm drink together, and Master Lee wondered what makes a person stronger than the rest. Lu thought that a person is powerful if they don't follow the rules, but Master Lee revealed that it takes character, experience, and determination to be the strongest. He asks Lu if he would take on more responsibility if it meant becoming stronger. But when he thought about those words, Lu revealed that the only person he cared about was his little sister, and said that he would never help anyone else, especially since nobody helped him when he was younger. Just trying to survive in this world with his sister is enough already, so he doesn't dream about becoming a hero for now. Master Li takes his giant fucking flask that's probably compensating for his persuasion, and promises that he will continue teaching Lu. The following morning, Kaede was beginning to finally learn the lessons because Li's wife brought her some Pringles, but he felt a mysterious presence looming from behind him. A man from the Heavenly Network had appeared, and Lu realized that his sister was in danger, so he ran home right away. When he arrived, he saw the man, and pretended like he forgot his lunch at home. Once Kaede left, the man told him that the ruins are beginning to reappear, and they will wreak chaos on their entire nation. He has come to request Master Li's aid in fighting them, but Master Li rejected. Before leaving, the man told him that the last position in the Heavenly Network is still open, and walked away. Kaede came back, and Mr. Li was excited to show her progress, so he asked her to recite the sentence he taught her.
有朋自远方来，不亦乐乎?
After nearly getting a heart attack from that last comment, he handed Lu 2 vials to test their ranks, and walked away. At night, Lu was excited to see how much he'd evolved from the celestial fruit, and saw that his blood had turned dark enough to classify him as an A rank. However, his vial began shining the colors of the galaxies, and he wondered what this could have meant. As he tried burying it outside, Master Li asked him what rank he'd become. But Lu lied to him, saying that he was still an F rank, and farmed his ass for more coins. Throughout the nights that passed, he continued singing his song, completing more planets in the nebulas, until a blue aura began surrounding him. He tried something you shouldn't try at home, and realized that the second solar system provided him with protection against injuries. He wondered how his sister was doing, but inside of her solar system, black holes were the only thing that appeared, and the center of the nebula began sucking her inside. When he entered her room, he saw how she was consumed by the darkness of her celestial map, but she snapped back to reality, and told him that she finally broke through the first layer. He wondered what abilities she managed to unlock, so she focused her energy and summoned a body of an ant, revealing that the poor bug died last night, but now obeys all of her commands. He wondered if they could summon more, so outside, she found a group of frozen ants, and tried summoning another one of them. But the instant it was summoned, the first ant disintegrated, and they realized her powers were limited to a single summon. He asked her what else she could create, so she spawned a flying bird, saying that her summons don't consume any of her energy, and that they can stay alive forever. Lu wondered if they could use her power to summon an awakened person, but took her to a barn where they selected a poor pig for experimentation. He punched the magical pig to see if it would react the same way as a normal one, but realized that he should summon his magical sword instead. As soon as it came out, the pig ran for its life, but his sword struck through the pig, annihilating it with a single blow. Kaede was about to make her brother the next summon, but he promised that he would make her scrambled eggs for a week. However, she wanted it for 2 weeks. As he fed her the scrambled eggs, he felt a surge of energy coming from the bridge, so he got up to leave. But Kaede jumped on his back, saying that she's going to tag along. After leaping between buildings, they saw the 3 men fighting against Lu's instructor, and among one of the bandits was a D-rank Awakener. The bandit casted hundreds of fireballs towards Sci-Fi with ease, but he managed to parry all of them with his hand, until the ropes of the bridge caught fire. While he was distracted, the man leaped towards him and used his strength to nearly crush him down. But as he ran away, one of them began manipulating the floor beneath him to throw him off balance. The second defender rushed in with her sword and took care of his allies. However, none of them were able to lay a scratch on their leader, so Zai activated his magical sigil to explode both of them on the spot. Using the fog to his advantage, their leader hid inside the smoke. 2 of Zai's comrades ran through, but as soon as they entered, a giant explosion lit the entire bridge on fire. With all the smoke settling, the 3 bandits emerged unscathed, so Lu told Kaede to head back while he went in to discover the identities of the bandits. The National Guard had completely surrounded their location, and began infiltrating their hideout, but they had already escaped to a different alley. The 2 lackeys realized that they were about to be executed, so they begged their leader to just turn themselves in. However, their leader revealed that the Heavenly Network would never leave them alone after eliminating 2 of their soldiers. So he told his comrades that he'll create a distraction while they tried to escape. With the soldiers drawing near, the leader blew up the door to knock them out, but the rest had already surrounded him. the leader knocked both of the guys unconscious and began using them as body shields, running away from all the attackers. While running through the alleys, one of the soldiers drew body paint from his hand and enchanted his sword to stab their leader against the wall. Without anywhere to escape, the soldiers noticed Lu's glowing aura standing above them, so he tried saying that he was looking for his lost cat here. Zai commanded the soldiers to catch him, and began casting sigils towards both of them. However, Lu front flipped across, and used their swords as stepping stones because he was a parkour god now. The bandit threw his comrades as distractions, but the general used his swords to open his wound, and they began fighting against him. At the same time, Lu countered both of the female soldiers and used one of their sheaths against them in battle. He dodged all of their attacks with ease and countered by sheathing her sword back, knocking her against the wall. When the second one ran behind him, he used the sheath to knock her back to the other side, and using his superior acrobatics, he backflipped to avoid the sword slashes, knocking the last soldier unconscious. Beneath him, the leader was capable of parrying all of the soldiers' blows, but the dual wielder pinned him against the wall and nearly restrained him. However, the man crushed the metal swords with his bare hands and grabbed his head, launching tens of punches towards his throat and dragging him across the wall. Zai casted several sigils towards the man, but none of them even left a scratch on him. He threw the unconscious soldier towards Lu and punched towards the ground, creating a black mist that blinded the entire field. Zai tried to catch Lu off guard, but he leaped and knocked the pole down. Debris began flying from inside, until Zai casted his sigils to light up the entire field, but a barrel came right towards him. As soon as he realized it was filled with gas, the barrel exploded in his face, and he was sent crashing towards the wall while burning away. When the fog cleared, Lu noticed how all the soldiers had been knocked away, and the bandit was the only one who remained, so Lu powered up with all of his energy. The bandit prepared to punch towards Lu, but he managed to hold it off with his fist. His corpse-dog sword inside of him began burning, and it pierced through the bandit's bones, ripping his entire arm off. Once he was home, he took off his invisibility cloak and told Kaede that he wanted to test her powers one more time. As they left the house, Lee wondered what the fuck they were doing so late at night. So Kaede said he was taking her to a 5-star restaurant and will spend his entire life savings to make her happy. Lu asked Master Lee if he would like to join, but the old man told them to be careful at night. When they got closer to the scene, Kaede summoned her bird to get an aerial view of the location, making sure there were no enemies around. As soon as she cleared the area, Lu went back to the location of their fight, but noticed that all the bodies had disappeared. Kaede jumped in, and she noticed the energy of the men who passed away in the area. Lu told her to swallow their souls, so she absorbed one of their energies, but couldn't bring it out yet. She thought a single day of regaining her strength would allow her to summon him, and Lu was glad that they were finally able to make some progress. He told her that it was time to go home, but she told him that he still didn't take her to the 5-star restaurant yet. Lu said he was just making an excuse for the old man, but she told him that he wishes, because she's about to drain his entire broke-ass pocket. At the noodle shop, she began devouring his noodle, and Lu told her that he wishes he could take her out to eat every day like this. If she were to stay in the orphanage, he thinks it would allow her to live a better life. But when she heard those words, she began holding back her tears, wondering why he wanted to send her back there. She began crying, telling him that it doesn't matter if she doesn't have a coat or if she doesn't have enough food. The only thing she cares about is him, because he's her family. He remembers when he first snuck out of the orphanage, and how she held his hand because she didn't want him leaving her. However, he turned away, leaving her alone all that time. As he struggled to continue living homelessly, he began selling eggs to afford his rent, and studied with whatever time was left. The loneliness slowly began eating away at him, but he finally saw Kaede appearing in front of him. At first, he tried sending her back to the orphanage, but she clinged onto him, and her smile became the light that helped him get through the days. He took her back to his apartment, and she was happy to begin living with him every single day. Whenever his eggs wouldn't sell, and he wasn't able to afford food, he would take whatever damaged crops he found from the other sellers and bring them back home for his sister to eat. Day after day, and even through the freezing winters, Kaede tried doing her best to take care of her brother. Even when he was too sick to leave, she would try to sell the eggs on her own, because as long as she was able to continue living with him, it didn't matter what she had to deal with. They became each other's warmth and survived through every winter. Remembering all the things they've been through, Lou revealed that he wanted to buy their house eventually. He doesn't want to worry about constantly paying rent and living on the edge of starvation, so he promised his sister that they will one day buy their home, because they're family. She held his hand, wondering if their days were going to get better, so he told her that they definitely will, and held her hand closer. The following morning, Lou was back to selling his stinky tofu, but he was beginning to run out of it, and people had grown accustomed to its stink, so he wasn't able to gain more coins. One of the people asked Lou if they could get more than one tofu, but he told him that they're all sold out, and gained coins off all of them. He realized that just by telling these hungry f***s that he was sold out, he would get rich as shit, so he began baiting them into thinking he had tofu, and then crushing all of their useless f***ing dreams. At night, a man uncovers all of his wife's life savings, and takes all of them before leaving. Meanwhile, the clock struck midnight, and Kaede was finally able to achieve her goal. She began knocking on Lou's door, and showed him the man she had summoned. Lou wondered if she was able to control his powers, and she revealed that she can do everything to him, even read his memories to find the location of the money they stole. While trying to focus, she remembered the place where him and his comrades hid the money, and was excited to go and dig it up. However, Lou told her that they would hand the money back to the police when they found it, but Kaede was sad to hear those words. She wondered if they really needed to give them the money, because if they had all of it, they would be able to finally buy this house, and she wouldn't need to worry about going back to the orphanage. Lou kneeled down, promising her that he would never abandon her, and that they would get their home ethically. However, he told her to get her ugly ass face to sleep, and said,
"Good night, girl. I'll see you tomorrow."
She walked away angrily, but Lou remembered how badly she wanted to keep living with him, and saw the flyer for his home, saying it was on sale for $240,000. The following morning, the fat person who stole his wife's life savings walked in front of everyone in the school, but Lou realized he was a B-rank awakener. The man took the podium and introduced himself as the new director of the school. However, Lou felt like something was off about the guy. At night, the new director introduced himself as Lee, because the author couldn't bother to come up with more names, and wore a Harry Potter suit, since they have located a mysterious C-rank awakener who easily destroyed an entire field of soldiers. They will begin providing all the students with spirit stones each month. In accordance with each person's strength level, C-rank awakeners will be awarded 1, B-rank will receive 2, and A-rank will receive 10. The class leader looked at Lou mockingly, but panicked when he saw Lou smiling and texting him. Lou messaged him that he had awakened thanks to wrestling with his mom all night, and said,
"Congratulations, you played yourself."
After they were dismissed, Lou met up with Jang in the alley, and asked him if people would buy the spiritual stones on the black market. Jang told him that it's illegal to sell the stones, but there is definitely some interested millionaires, and they'd be willing to buy each one at $100,000 per stone. Lou realized he struck gold, and told Jang that he wants to sell them for $120,000 instead, so Jang called up someone who might be interested. Within seconds, the man accepted the deal, and asked him for his bank account number. Lou was shocked how easily that was done, and gave his stones to his friend, saying that he trusts him since they've been close friends. With this deal closed, he no longer had to worry about all those nights when he would freeze in the cold, just so he can get something nice for his sister. After buying her snacks from the convenience store, Lou showed her the land deed for this house, saying that it's finally going to be theirs. Additionally, he gave her the new phone he bought for her, and had added himself to the contacts already. Starting tomorrow, this place will be theirs. The courtyard, the floor, the walls, the plates, and even the ants. They will own all of it. She hugged him, crying because they're finally going to be together, and asked him if he's going to continue needing to work every day. He told her that he will keep selling so they could afford their food. But the f***ing menace just wanted to piss people off for coins. In his bedroom, the celestial map appeared before him once again, and the second nebula was finally completed. At the same time, however, a dark ominous aura continued swirling towards his sister. While selling his food, Lou made fun of all the people for being brokies, saying, "You're broke!" and gained hundreds of points. Lee came up and asked for some stinky tofu, but realized that Lou's face was familiar. Lou revealed that he's one of his students, so Lee told him that he will be getting the tofu for free every day. But the seller right next to him screamed at the director to stop taking advantage of poor little ugly ass orphan Lou, because his mom already didn't love him, which is why she threw him out, and everyone in school bullies him because he's such a disgusting lonely loser.
Emotional damage!
The man tells him that Lou works every single day just to barely afford his food at home, and studies with all of his free time. Hearing his sad story, Lee cried and handed Lou $100 as an apology. The man wondered who the fuck that cheap bastard was, and Lou said he was their new principal. After finally signing all the paperwork to buy their home, an unknown number called him, saying that he must come to the ruin that opened up immediately. He messaged his sister that they finally own the home, but he will need to go on a field trip for a few days. At night, a girl on Tinder sent him a plot-filled photo, but he told her that she looks so disgusting. It's no wonder her dad walked out on her.
You're a victim.
Hundreds of military vehicles transported them to the ruined site, so Lou decided to say they smelled like an anime convention, and the coins began piling up. Once they arrived, the chef served them their meals, but the class leader came and told Lou that he was happy to finally see him eating food, rather than the shit he gets out of an orphanage dumpster. Lou sighed, and Saria appeared from behind, but disappeared when he tried looking back. While they ate their lunch, some fat ass looked for a place to sit, so one of the soldiers gave him his seat to calm him down. Once he left, however, Lou approached him and told him to stand up, but smacked him in the back of his fat ass neck, causing him to lay unconscious on the ground. What a fucking Chad. Jang said he was surprised that he was able to put that fatso in his place, and offered some of his food as a reward. He told him that since they were next to the ruins, their systems would level up much faster. So at night, Lou wondered how he could enter his celestial map without singing his lullaby, but realized that he could use all this time to gain coins instead. While the class leader was meditating, Lou began breathing heavily on him, and kept distracting him from his meditation. The fucker started reciting his life story to distract his thoughts, and kept laughing in his face. The points kept going up all night, and by the morning, the menace had gained 47,000 coins off being an annoying cunt. He wondered how his sister was doing, but there was no cellular data. At lunch, the chef gave him more food because he knocked out the person consuming an entire barrel, and the soldier decided to give him his seat. But Lou rejected because he wanted to sit on Jang's lap instead. Jang wondered how he was planning on ranking up, so Lou revealed that he just needed to arm wrestle the class leader once again. Every night, he began reciting more of his life story, and the poor guy was ready to go insane from hearing his voice without a break. He ran to the edge of a cliff where he thought he was finally safe, and began peacefully meditating. But Lou came back again, and the class leader realized there was only one thing he can do to escape his suffering.